everyone, and welcome to Podfight Vancast, your standard podcast about Cardfight Vanguard. Now, you think you've got an intro worked out for yourself, and you get it ready, you line yourself up, and hang on, you've run out of things to say. You think perhaps you've used up all your material for an intro, so you have to reach out to someone you know can deliver, someone who always has that ability to sell you the dream. And it's Nate, your Vanguard. Hello, how are you? Here's that dream. It's only $5. You bought it, done. Sold it to you, no refunds. But you know who puts the fun in a refund? The guy who makes it okay that you spent your life savings on an intro, and now you think to yourself, yeah, do I want it? Well, he's telling you, you need it, because you had the dream sold to you and you can't get your cash back. But what he will do for you is make it worth your while. It's Ryan, your other Vanguard. Say hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. I like that one. That was a good one. Well done.
Never run out of intros. Come up with them.
Clearly better than I.
That's not public knowledge yet. Unless you're listening to this, then you'll find out. You'll find out what that means. Ryan.
Spoilers.
It is a bit of a spoiler. We want to avoid that. Now we've got a bit of not a stupidly quiet week in Cardfight Vanguard, but it's not a tumultuous week. Not like every other week prior.
Yeah.
We've just got some. We got some reveals, and we found out something very important, such as the encounter cards.
Yeah, true. It has been a very, not a quiet week, but a quiet week.
I know what you're
Vanguard, saying. Which is good. You need a bit of relaxation.
You need a lull. You need a lull, because if it's constantly up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up. I mean, when does it come down? And it comes down hard.
So this way, I think they've just pedoed. They've just gone...
Pedoed? What? You mean plateaued?
Plateaued, yep.
Did you accuse them of something? Is that what I heard?
No.
That's what it sounded like. Ryan, you give really good sound bites for all of this. There's always something like the Jedi Mind Sabers. You did say Jedi Mind Saber. I listened back. You said Jedi.
Yeah.
And Mind Saber. We know that. We know.
Yep.
So I've been speaking to our merch guys. We've got the Mind Sabers on the work. We're going to get foam Mind Sabers. Yeah, the Jedi Mind Sabers. Legal has said it's far enough from the actual lightsabers
that it's okay.
That it's okay. Yeah, it's gonna be. You're gonna put them around your head. It's gonna be one of those. You know those ones that used to have, like, you could put the foam things around your head and have like a big foam floppy thing hanging off it. That's what these are. Mind Sabers. You battle with your brain, and it's for the Jebis. Hashtag Jeb High Ryan.
Let's not do that.
No, fair enough. If you don't want to, we won't. What else have we got on? What else have we got on for this episode today, Ryan? What have you got for me? Have you got anything interesting?
No, just can talk how we normally do.
Fair enough.
Go through the paces.
Go through the motions.
Yeah.
Well, what I do know we have is some card reveals. We have some things that Cardfight Vanguard has been doing themselves. So they've shown us some of their the shinies for the festival collection. We'll talk about that. We have a Discord now. We've got like 6 people on it. That's exciting.
Ooh.
Who knew? And Ryan, you and I finally got out over the weekend, and we were able to do a couple of videos that will be uploaded at the time of you listening to this. You'll have the latest one. And stick around, because we might spoil what the second one's going to be about. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I'll be happy to send that out to us, to everyone that's listening.
Only for the podcast listeners. So, you know, if you're a regular podcast listener for Podfight Vancast, you'll get the goods. And if you are a regular, you will know what the first segment of the show is. And that, my friends, is the Oracle Drink Tank. I don't want to know what you were thinking. I only care about what you were drinking. Hey, tell me, what was that drink you just sang? Right here on Oracle Drink Tank. Yeah. Sometimes you don't need to do something flashy. You can just lead straight into it. Now, speaking of not doing anything flashy, Ryan, I've watched you pull something out of the corner of the screen there, please.
Yeah.
Take it away.
All right. I can't open it. Oh, here we are. There we are.
Here we go. Come on.
There we are. And it is a good Pasito Kirk's passion fruit drink. So that's what I'm having.
You've had that already.
Yeah. So again, not going out of my way, but yeah.
No, not doing that for the fans. Have I doubled up yet? I don't think I have I?
Surely. Probably not.
I don't think so. Well, I honestly don't remember if I've had this yet. Oh, I bet you I have. I bet you I say that I haven't doubled up, and this is a double up. I'm drinking the James Squires 150 Lashes. It's a pale ale, and it's quite good. Yeah, 150 Lashes. It's I got it for discount because I bought groceries, and on the receipt they're like, "Hey, buy some booze." Boom, discounted beer. And while I was in there, you know what I found on the shelf for $6 off?
What did you find for $6?
That Jameson that I was drinking. Yeah. So they had it for... I mean, I got it for $18 last time, which was a great deal. But now it was $22. And I thought to myself, I'd be a fool not to purchase this. I've been hanging for it when it was on the cheap, and it's now at the expensive. So I saw it and thought it would be financially irresponsible of me to not purchase that.
Got to always be kind to the finances.
You've got to look after yourself when it comes to the money, especially during this time, because unless you can avoid it, I don't think you really want to be spending those nightmare dollars, Alice.
Nightmare dollars, Alice! Did you spend a lot of cash? What did you buy this week? Did it kick your wallet's ass? Now I'm broke! It's a joke! I've got no money! It's got no money!
Seriously, Mum, can I borrow $50?
Well, we're actually swinging
Don't jinx
through. We're just going straight through.
Don't jinx it.
I'm touching wood.
Running.
Touching wood.
Yeah, me too. So we're running with it. Ryan, because we didn't do any disclaimer for the last one. Hey everyone, if you were listening and you were drinking and you were under the ages of 18, 21, don't tell them it was because of us. Moving on.
Yep.
There we go. Sorted that. For those of you who are tuning into episode 20 of the pod, 20 episodes, Ryan.
20 episodes.
Is that worth celebrating? Not really. No. Not worth celebrating.
No.
If we had thousands of listeners, that'd be worth celebrating.
Maybe. But not now.
It's all right. We're not celebrating anything. If you haven't tuned in before and you've decided to pick up at episode 20, go back and listen to the other ones, as I always say. And if you had have tuned in, you know that. But if you don't, this is the part where we talk about all the cashola that we have spent, preferably on Cardfight Vanguard.
Yes.
But at this moment, there's not much else to buy.
No.
Ryan, tell me. You've had a bit of a purchase.
I have had a purchase. You can even see it in the screenshot.
I can. They can't. I can.
No, they cannot. So I purchased a chair, an office chair, which is nice.
It's a nice looking chair.
Yeah, it's a nice looking chair. It's pretty good. It came in a flat pack, so I had to do it all up, and it was 3 tantrums later, and it's now all made. So very nice.
How long have you been sitting on it for?
Not too long. Why?
I'm just curious as to when it's going to fall over.
Please don't. Please don't jinx it.
Well, I'm just. If we get that on camera and you and audio go, wow, that'd be pretty great.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
If I ever fall, I'll make sure that it's recorded just for you and the listeners.
Thank you. Well, is that all you spent money on?
Yeah. So that's all I've spent money on. Hopefully next week I'll have something else.
I'm squinting.
Vanguard related this time. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on, son.
Wait.
Anyway.
Mate, it's not even. It's not even that exciting.
No. What about yourself?
So, for myself, I spent a lot. This week. So I got paid, got my monies in, right, and it went straight out. I had bills and all of this stuff, so that don't count. What does count, however, is so Caitlin's sister is about to have a baby, right? Days away. At the time of recording, hasn't had one yet. By the time we're listening, she might have probably had the kid. That's how close we are to having it. Ooh. So I don't know if you know, But in order to see a baby, in the words of Moira Rose, you need to get a whooping cough injection. You need to get a jab in the arm, not the COVID jab, but a whooping cough jab, right? So you got to get one of those, right? Otherwise, you can't see the baby for 6 weeks, right? You're not going to be able to see the baby for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Unless you get the whooping cough. But if you're going to get the whooping cough injection, I'm telling you where not to go. So, this is part of my... You're probably wondering, why is this relevant? This is relevant. So, Kate and I go down to the doctor's office. And we go and we wait, I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. You know, it's a classic, it's a standard doctor wait, right? Whatever. And the woman comes out, she says, yep, Nate and Kate, come on in. So, all right, beauty. Happy days. We stroll on through, right? So she takes us both at the same time. And I even commented, oh, both at once. Oh, that's interesting. We both go in at the same time into the doctor's office, right? She persists to make maybe about 3 minutes worth of small talk, if that. And that's because it's Kate's like, she's been there since she was a child. And as for me, I've never been there before. So it's small talk is all small talk. Whatever. She walks out. She comes back with the injections. Bang, bang, sticks it with us, and then says, sayonara. Yeah, too easy. So we get up and walk out. She says, you pay at the front. Yeah, I know how doctors work. Now, this isn't my normal doctors. So I would normally go to the bulk billing one where it's free. Yes, Australians get free healthcare. Sorry for our American listeners. But we don't have to pay for it, right? Yeah. And I'm sure American listeners are going to, when I finish this, American listeners are going to say, that's nowhere near what we pay. But anyway, I apologise for you guys. You get better healthcare. That's all I can tell you. You get everything else for cheaper, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cost of living is different over there, except for the Medicare. Anyway, so we go to pay, and she says to me, okay, that's $55 per jab. So already we're $110. So I twitches a little bit. I'm like, ugh, okay, whatever. I knew what we were getting ourselves into. And she says that's $80 for the consult. So the consultation with the doctor for all of 5 minutes cost me $80. So I'm seething. And Kate's like, oh, that's rich. That's a bit of a rort. And I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is. Whatever, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So the nurse says, okay, let me just work out that. And so I look at her and go, well, it's 190. It's 55 is 110. $80 is 190, right? And she goes, what? No, it's not. It's 270. And I lock eyes with her and I go, what? And she goes, yeah, well, it's 55 for the jab, $80 for the consult each. So the doctor has the audacity, the gall, the cheek, the nerve to charge two people $80 each to go in for under 5 minutes to get stuck with a needle. Yeah. And she doesn't give us any... There's no consultation. It's not... What are the side effects? Because you know what? I've got one of the side effects, don't I? Mm-hmm. Irritability. No, that's not a side... Well, it might be. That could be why I'm so irritable. No, I've got a giant lump on my arm from the injection site, and it hurts, it's red, and it's big. Yep. A big lump. Like, it's... You can't... I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it in this. No. Yeah, you can sort of see it's a bit darker there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's this lump that just, like, goes... Woo! And it hurts. I can't sleep on it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't... If she told me that was a side effect, I'd go, all right, whatever,
yeah,
stick
sure.
it with me. I need to get it. No, not even that. I just need to get it, fine. But didn't even tell us side effects. Didn't tell us what could happen. Just jab, give me $270. I was livid to say the least. So I left them a very, very bad Google review. So I was absolutely appalled at the fact that I dropped $300 to get an injection. So I've already told Kate's sister that she owes me $270, and I will be exacting revenge against that child when he's old enough to have earned money. And I will.
You kid owe me.
I am going to bring it up at his 21st. I will bring it up at his 21st and say, you son of a bitch, owe Uncle Nate $270 with interest. He's 21 years old at this point. Mm-hmm. Compound interest. I wonder what that would be.
Do an invoice now, just so you got some paperwork.
Oh my god! And I can hit him with a stat demand for failure to pay it, and I can get him to bankruptcy. I can bankrupt that kid on his 21st birthday.
Done.
That is funny. That is funny. All right, I've just worked out how much he'll owe me. All right, so it's $270. Yeah. Over the course of 21 years. Let's say the annual interest rate is 5%. Because the current effective interest rate is 5.12%. So, say annual interest rate is 5%. Mm-hmm. He'll owe me $770.
You're an evil uncle.
There you go. I'm taking that out of the kid at his 21st. That's coming up. So other than that, I bought some video games. I bought a book, Arsène Lupin. I bought the book because it's on Netflix and I've watched it and I've been meaning to read it. Great show. Watch that show. Otherwise, there you go. That was my big expenditure this week. Oh, and yes, thanks, Kate. Just remind me. And Morrison also got poked with a needle. Bang, bang, because he had it. So last one. So Finley had like a cyst on the back of her head that formed, and we thought it was like a wart or something. Turns out it was just some sort of like out of the skin cyst. It popped, gooed everywhere. It was gross, but she's fine. She's fine.
Yep.
Then Morrison decides to get a lump on his side. And so we're like, oh no. And it's under the skin. We're like, oh God. Take him to the vet. So he gets stuck with a needle too. So we're the poke hole gang because all three of us have needle holes. Yep. He's a leader, obviously. So we had to pay for that. So that wasn't a cheap exercise either to have him tested, but you do it for your pets. You know what I mean? You do it for them. Me, I can avoid. You know what? I could have avoided seeing that kid for 6 months or 6 weeks, whatever it was. But I can't avoid my boy, my big boy.
No, your big boy.
My big boy, he's a good boy. You know what I mean? I can't avoid that. You know, I have to make sure he's feeling good. I have to make sure he's okay. I want him to be okay, Ryan.
Yeah,
he's got to feel good.
You got to make him feel good. You just got to.
I got to.
Check in on him.
Every now and then. Yeah,
just check in.
I go to the doctors and I check in. We take him to the vets. We check in. You go to a hotel, you check in.
Yeah.
But you know, you always got to make sure you drive check in. All right now, for all you boppers out there in the big city, all you street people with an ear for the action, I've been asked to relay a request from Podfight Vancast. It's a special for the listeners, that real live bunch who play Vanguard, and I do mean the listeners. Here's a hit with them in mind. Drop check in. We want to see you wearing a grin. No need to be bitter, just let us know upon Twitter. Hashtag Hi Ryan, let us know if you're flying. Or maybe you're glad to listen to me sing you the song in the perfect key. I know what you're thinking, this is your favorite song. Well, let us know on Twitter, give us that Bella Nathan. Drop check in right now. It's the drop check in right now. Drop. That's three, right? That's three very good ones. Touching wood. That's touching wood. It's very good. Guys, this is the part where we just want to check in. We just want to know what people are up to. How are you? What have you got up to this week? Tell us about it. Tell us on Twitter.
Yep.
Interact with us more, Tell us, send us an email. Tell us how you're feeling.
Talk to us on our Discord now.
Join our Discord and tell us how you're feeling. Shout out to our guys on Discord. Hope you're all hanging in there. Tell us when you're listening to the pod. We should start tweeting people or thinging it while we're in the recording, telling everyone that's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Did you think of that? Did you think of how cool that would have been?
That would have been pretty cool. Might have to do that next time.
We'll do that next time because I'm not doing that right now.
No.
But that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. I like that.
And then they can see how long we take to do a...
too long. It's like a 2-hour podcast and it takes us like 5 hours to record because we just talk absolutely trash. No, we talk. We keep it pretty lined up. Yeah. Ryan, how was your weekend, mate? I mean, I know how it was. I was there for one part of it, but I'm curious.
You were there for a big part. So it was a long weekend, which was nice, and I did pretty much nothing because you can't do much. But anyway,
no, we couldn't do much. But the good news for us is we did get a chance to go out, and we played Cover Vanguard in a park. We're allowed to go. We're allowed to go outside. We're allowed to have a gather. We could have had 10 people there playing Vanguard, but we couldn't do it in our own home.
No,
which is interesting.
Yes. So masks on, and in the park we played Vanguard in the park.
Played Vanguard in the park till it got very dark and very cold. Very cold.
Too dark and too cold.
Too dark and too cold. Too dark and too cold. And what that actually spurred and led into is that we have filmed a couple of videos that we're going to be putting up. In fact, at the time of listening to this, the very first one is up, which is the custom trigger... I don't want to call it a challenge. It's not a challenge. But it's Podfight Vancast's custom triggers where, thanks to CVGS and Aegis MK2, who came up with the D20 triggers, which replaces your triggers with random effects. We've done the same, except we've come up with specific triggers to replace triggers. So the very first episode that you guys hopefully have already watched is the infect trigger. Now, Ryan, the infect trigger. When you check it, your Vanguard becomes infected and gets put into isolation, so your Vanguard goes away for a turn.
That he does.
And let me say, that caused some dilemma.
It caused some fun.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Also, problems arose that we did not originally think about.
We didn't. I know some things cropped up as we're playing, and you'll see. We won't go too much into it. Yeah. We'll talk about it. I think next week we'll talk about the results. But if you haven't watched it yet, guys, go check that out because that was really fun. And we do have. I custom did the cards. I actually made up the cards, so they're customized. So we do have those available for you to download yourself. If you want to give that a whirl, put it on, do your own videos, send it to us, or just don't even film it and have a go at it and tell us what you think of it. Because it's fun. It was fun. And I've got to say, though, the second one we did after that was even better than that.
That was a lot of fun. I didn't think it would be that crazy, but it was. And it was just crazy fun.
Because the things that happened... like you needed it. You needed to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that occurred there. So, like we said, for those of you who are dedicated listeners, the next episode of our trigger quadrilogy, our quadrifolio of triggers that are coming out, is the switch trigger. I'm not going to tell you what it does, but you've been heads up about the switch trigger. Again, customized cards there and then for you, and we'll have those available for download once the episode drops too. But that one I think is my favourite so far. So we still have two more that we'll be trying. So we're going to do 4 sets of triggers, and then we'll probably do a video with all 4 of them in there, which would be insanity, absolute insanity. We've got to work out a way to replace the over trigger too. We've got to do something like bonkers for the over trigger. But I don't know what we'll do. We'll come up with something there. But guys, give that a watch. Seriously, the infect trigger was awesome fun. At first, when we started playing, I didn't think it was going to go as crazy as it did. The second game certainly had its fair share of excitement. It
did. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. So guys, check that one out, and that's you'll get to see us play. The masks didn't really impact it. I mean, you're always a struggle to hear anyway, so the masks sort of muffled you a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know why you just can't be loud.
I just can't project.
For such a daunting presence, you're quiet. But other than that, guys, no, that was a lot of fun. What else did you get up to, right? Anything else? Anything else exciting? You want to check in with everybody? Let them know what's going on in life currently?
Nah, just enjoying myself at home, which is nice.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Fair enough. It's
what about
an odd
yourself?
way of phrasing it. Mate, same situation. Here it is. It's all good. Here's what it is. You do what you do. Now, you know what I'm going to do, though? I am going to shout out to the guys who have joined our Discord. Because,
Yeah.
Well, I want to give them some things. Join us. Now, we're currently the Van Gangsters. Now, having watched the latest episode of Carver Vanguard, we'll talk about that later. I mean, the team names. Right, we need to change our team. Oh, we need an actual proper team name, all right? Van Gangsters is fine. That could be our little fandom, whatever. We need a proper team name, so when we go to tournaments as our team. Because that was awesome. That was great, what they were looking like. Now, we'll talk about it there as well, because I had an idea which has been stolen, which is such a bummer. But I've got a name that I'll propose. I know I've told you, and you seemed like you're not stupidly sold.
I'm not stupidly sold. I'm sorry.
Why aren't you sold on it? It's great.
It's good. It's just like a. Okay.
I think it's a great name, but we'll talk about that. But I just remembered because it's here. So anyway, shout out though to Allomart, Pollen Power, and of course the captain from CVGS. He's joined our Discord. The captain has. And then there's also the world's native Vanguard. He sounds handsome. And Sleeping Bears ZZZ or ZZZ, depending on what part of the world you're from.
Yep.
And I bet you he's a cutie pie.
Oh, I reckon he's all right.
I reckon he's a bit of a good-looking rooster with a ute.
Yeah,
right?
he's pretty good. I reckon he enjoys a good Hawaiian shirt every so often.
The name implies he likes a Hawaiian shirt, I'll tell you right now. Sleeping in one. Right? Sleeping bear. What? Whatever.
Sure. Anyway. Join us on the Discord, guys. Thanks for those joining us. It's been great fun. We'll probably look into it a bit more.
I wonder if... Yeah, I know. Look, I've said like 2 things. Yeah. I wonder if the guy who said, hey, guys, start a Discord has joined our Discord. Because I don't think he has. So it's like, hey, join our Discord. Okay, here it is. Oh.
I didn't actually want to, no.
Oh, I just thought it was a good idea for you guys. I don't particularly like you. But I mean, people not liking us is certainly not news. No. That's quite evident. Yes. I think people love to hate us, right? Yes. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
But there's nothing shocking. There's nothing shocking in that. That's not a surprise. It's not news to anyone. Unlike this next segment, break riding news. Stand up. It's break riding news. Give you information, we ain't leaving clues. We just tell the truth about that Vanguard life. Not some celebrity in trouble with his wife. Maybe it's a card you like. Maybe it's a card that just ain't right. Boom, boom, 1, 2. Hit you with that insight. So stand that Vanguard. We here all night. Aight? It's break riding news. It's break riding news. It's break riding news. Give you information, we ain't leaving clues. We out of here. Retire that. You okay there, champ?
Yeah, sorry, I was just about to burp and I didn't want to burp on the microphone, so I burped that way and then again, yeah. So.
It's gross. I thought you were gonna sneeze. I thought you were like, I had to sneeze. You're like, I just had to let the gas out.
Better out than in, I always say.
Yes, that's right. Ryan, news time.
Yes.
Newsy news.
The news.
Cafe Vanguard news.
Not too much on the news, as we said earlier. We just got the new cards and encounter cards. So I think we just get straight into the cards.
Let's talk about the cards last, because I figure let's just seeing as you're semi right in saying that there's not stupidly much going on. We do currently have the Vanguard Shop Fair running on the global online store, where you can buy a bunch of their exclusive merchandise. Mm-hmm. Perhaps you would like to purchase some of said merchandise and tell us about it on Nightmare Dollars, Alice. Mm-hmm. I think sleeves are up there, mats, those sort of things.
The mats
is what I can
do
see.
Look nice.
They look cool. They do look cool. I mean, I'm not going to buy any.
No, and they've also got the trial decks in Japanese.
But Japanese, that's right. And that was a big thing too. They did say that. Like someone, I think there was comments, but they didn't. Now, speaking of sleeves, by the way, this probably should have come up in the last bit, but let's do a quick one. Our sleeves have been printed, our custom sleeves that we've done. Now, we're going to have the Podfight Vancast sleeves, and then, Ryan, I will say this, once we get those in, we probably need to get our team sleeves done, I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
Because looking at the quality of these done, I'm happy to buy another set, to be perfectly honest. They're really looking good. So we will get Podfight Vancast sleeves in very soon, and we'll be sending them out to people for things, games, competitions, just because we like you and we want to say thanks for being a supporter.
And
there are some of you out there that we like. So anyway, moving back onto where we were though. So that's the sort of stuff you can buy from the online store. Looks cool. I personally probably won't buy any because...
we're getting custom mats and custom...
We get now custom mats, custom sleeves, that's right. I mean, like, I'm just going to jump onto their site here and tell you what else you can get, because you can also buy...
I think there's some badges as well, which... Yeah.
What was that?
I think there's some badges that you can buy.
Oh, badges, yeah. Yeah, you can get badges. You can get a Yu Yu Kondo acrylic stand. Now, I don't know how big that is.
I'm guessing it's only 18.
Yeah, it's a tiny little one.
Yeah.
Because it's $18, so I can't imagine it's stupidly big. But that's kind of fun. But yeah, you got sleeves. They've got the sleeves of the Overtriggers. That's right. It was the Overtrigger sleeves. I'm not overly sold. I don't really want the Overtriggers on my sleeves.
No. I've had enough of dragons.
They've got the storage boxes. It's just cardboard. It's $15 for the cardboard. Like,
Yeah.
I'll say this. I remember winning a storage box, I think, once at a tournament, and I was like, whoa, I won a storage box, and it was just cardboard. And I was like, oh, damn. Right. So I don't particularly think it's worth it, because, like, you can just print on your own cardboard or, like, whatever, if you have to. And then the playmats. So that's actually it. Playmats are reasonably priced for $40. Like, I don't hate that, and they'll be great quality, and they've got the cool pictures. That's not the worst price you're paying for a mat.
Yeah.
So that's what you can get on for their website. The other thing that they've also shown us, right, is actually that's all it is. We have the lore. Now we have the lore.
Yes.
Now, I haven't looked at the lore. You looked at the lore.
I had a quick look at the lore.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was for Cater Sanctuary. So the two people went to Cater Sanctuary. And
chatting about it.
Yeah, and
it's
like, yeah, cool. Talking about how the city's floats, and they're like, yep.
Well, the capital of Keter Sanctuary is Ketergia. Ketergia. That's kind of fun that we know that.
Yeah. So
and it's made up of 9 floating islands.
Mm-hmm. It is. And did you know that they are floating islands in the sky?
I did know that, but tell me, how are they floating?
Is it through science or magic?
I don't know.
It's through science, kind of, but also a little bit of magic. So enjoy. That was pretty much the lore, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, I've just read the lore. It's a lot better than the others, like so far, because it actually feels like you're getting a bit of information, but it just talks about the floating city. Read it yourselves. I'm not reading it.
No, and it's not too...
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gone are the days where we used to get that lore. Like, we used to get the lore on the cards. Remember, the cards had attached lore to them. That sort of stuff was dope. Like, we had some real good lore at that point. Now, not so much. Not so much. The lore is very bleh. So, there you go. But that's it. There you go, right? There you go. See, you wanted to go straight to the cards. We got rid of the faffy part. All the faff is gone. Ryan, let's move on to the part you want to talk about, the cards.
Let's go back to the cards. So, we are still talking about set 2, A Brush with the Legends.
We are.
And let's get straight into it. It is a Dragon Empire card. So, all to you.
I will handle this with our very first introduction to the encounter cards, or the brush cards, as they're going to be called in English. I assume, again, like I said, probably not, but imagine, terrible name. And it is the Draconic Overlord. Ryan, he has made appearances original, Break Ride, V-Series, D-Series, Zero, and BR0. How good's that?
So the Zeros, isn't that just like the card game online?
That's the card game online, yeah. But he's made his way throughout the whole thing. And I mean, that's great. Good for him. Good for him, man. Good for him. And he was also relevant in the... Come on, work with me here.
G-Series?
Where you... the Legion, mate. When you Legion. Because didn't you have to Legion with the Draconic Overlord at some point?
I think so. There was something about
that. Maybe that was... Oh, no, that might have been the end. Whatever.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was the end. Whatever. It's now relevant. So, we have him. Now, he's 13k. He's got Persona Ride, blah, blah, blah. He's definitely part of a ride line or a ride chain. We know that. So we'll get there. We'll talk that. But his flavor text is great. The Dragon of Apocalypse carved its name into various annals of history. Yeah, that's true, because it's been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sets. So good for him.
Yeah, good for him. 6 different eras.
Now 6 different eras. That's right. Now his ability is like, it's not disgusting.
No.
And in fact, it's very much harkening back to the original one.
Yeah.
So let's have a talk about this. So we have Vanguard or Rearguard. So on both. During the battle that this unit attacked a Rearguard, your opponent cannot call cards from their hand to the guard circle. So it's like an auto retire of a Rearguard. Mm-hmm. Except you can still intercept. So, there's that. But that's interesting. So that's that's a way around it. So you can't block. There we go. And his other ability on Vanguard is once per turn, when this unit attacks, hit, counterblast 1, and discard a card from your hand, stand this unit, and it gets -1 drive until end of turn. So it's like his old ability, where he used to be able to stand, but you had to counterblast 3 and all of that. In fact, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll go back through him through the ages. But Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Perfectly good ability, and doesn't break the game that you're not going to feel like you need to play this card in order to build in that meta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm looking at that going, that's fun. And if I used to be like a real like Draconic Overlord huge fan, I mean, that was my very first deck, but that's because what choice did I have? I didn't necessarily, you know, I don't find myself drawn to this guy.
No, again, as you said, if I was a Draconic Overlord player from like the very beginning, I would go, yes, I would want to keep playing this just because it's fun, and why not? Pretty much. Yeah,
exactly. So it's a really good ability, like a really solid ability for ride line. Like, it would stay relevant. I mean, it's 2 attacks. It can it's a free retire on a rear guard. So, you know, great. But it doesn't feel like everyone's going to go, oh my god, I need to play this card now. So let's have a look at the original though. So the original Draconic Overlord. So as I said, his ability was Counterblast 3 until end of turn. This gets 5k power, and when this unit's attack hits an opponent's rear guard, stand this unit and it loses Twin Drive. So it was a little bit differently. It had to hit a rear guard, it could stand, so you could attack rear guard, attack Vanguard, and you'd lose Twin Drive though, so you'd only ever draw 3 cards. So very much exactly what's happening here. But this guy's other ability is that he lost 2k if you didn't have a Kagero unit, because back then that was relevant as well, because you couldn't build a full deck of anything but Kagero or Royal Paladins. So that was the original one. Not a stupidly good ability later as it went on. Whereas this new one, I think, will certainly remain. Then we have the Break Ride ability. This is probably not relevant, really, because I only did this just so Kai had something for the Break Rides. But the ability was, when someone rode over it, you could counterblast 1, choose a Kagero from your hand to discard it. At the end of battle, this unit attacked a rearguard, pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit. And the ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn. So the attack A didn't have to hit, and B, you didn't lose Twin Drive. So that was good. Again, though, there was a limit break, so you had to specifically ride over this unit, so that's why it's a little more powerful. So yeah, that was okay. That's a good ability. And then finally, we'll talk V series. We won't talk about Zero and all of that. What? So, do you want to know something bizarre?
Yeah.
Draconic Overlord was in Buddy Fight.
What? When?
I don't know. It was a promo. So here's the thing. So I've just, this is bizarre. I've just clicked on the V Series tab to pull me up to what they did in V Series, and it's actually opened up across the board as well. So it's actually branched out, and it's shown me original Break Ride, V Series, D Series, Zero, BR Zero, and now Buddy Fight. Draconic Overlord transcends into Buddy Fight.
It does too. That's insane.
Holy crap. All right, I didn't know that. So let's talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the V-Series ability. V-Series ability was Soul Blast 1. It gets plus 10k power. And when it's a hit, Counterblast 1. Discard 2 cards. Stand this unit. It gets Neg Drive 1. Not as good. Not as good as the new one. I mean, yes, it got 10k power, but you lose 2 cards and Counterblast 1. Oh, but you could keep doing that. Wait, oh, no, it's once per turn. Nah, crap. Hate it. Hate it versus the current one. All right, Ryan, the final one we now need to talk about is Draconic Overlord in Buddy Fight.
Yes.
So, its call cost was pay 2 gauge and put the top 3 cards of your deck into its soul. So it has Soul Guard.
Yep.
All right, its act is you may drop a soul from this card. If you do, for this turn, this card gets plus 10k power, and its attack ability is called Eternal Flame. When this card attacks and destroys your opponent's monster or deals damage to your opponent, you may drop 2 hand cards. If you do, stand this card. So it has double attack. But, wait. So it had double attack and its Eternal Flame ability. So it could attack twice, then stand itself from Eternal Flame. And there you go. As if that even happened.
Yeah. It's weird as.
I didn't notice that. I didn't know. That's funny as hell. So there you go, Draconic Overlord. So if you're a Draconic Overlord fan and didn't have that card, you're not doing it well enough. So Ryan, there you go. That is our very first taste of the encounter cards. Thoughts, feelings, and otherwise everything else. How do you feel? How do you feel about seeing the encounter card?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad that they haven't made it like super duper. This is going to be the
new way.
The meta. What you have to do to win. It's just another card.
It's just another card.
Not sure how it will go with the other cards surrounding it. Your other cards, you'll probably have to go, instead of overdress abilities, you're going to have to go
more the Eugene route.
And just see how that goes.
That's fine. But,
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see... Look, they're making it hard to get anyway. I don't imagine you're going to see too many of them. And like we assume, we haven't had that confirmed yet, but you're probably going to find, if you find an encounter card, you're going to get the whole ride line in your packet. I would think.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like, if they're making it hard to get, they're not going to make it that hard that you can't get all of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? Oh, you know what the point is, to make people buy all the boxes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Money making.
So, money making scheme. Let's talk about the other encounter card that we have had released. I mean, there's a bunch, but the other second main one, which is also one of mine, Phantom Blaster Dragon for the Keta Sanctuary, part under the clan Shadow Paladins. So they do have their clans as well as their nations, the encounter cards. So it's very, very specific, and I think that's... I don't know why they bothered with that. It's because you can use them in the back anyway. So Phantom Blaster Dragon, whose ability is, when this card is placed on Vanguard, choose a card with Blaster in its card name from your soul, and you may call it to rearguard. Alright? Solid. We know that the Phantom Blaster Dragon evolves from Blaster Dark and Blaster Javelin and Full Bow, who is not a blaster, but that's... Well, you wouldn't call Full Bow, would you?
No.
And... his other ability is Vanguard, once per turn, cost, counterblast 1, retire 3 rearguards, choose up to 2 of your opponent's rearguards, retire them, and this unit gets plus 10k and a critical until end of turn. Now that ability, I feel, is almost identical to the original Phantom Blaster Dragons, whose ability is, if you have a card named Blaster Dark in your soul, this unit gets plus 10k power. Plus 1k power.
Plus 1k, yeah.
And, his other ability is Counterblast 2. Choose 3 of your Shadow Paladin rearguards and retire them. This unit gets 10k and a critical until end of turn.
Boom.
So it's slightly different.
Yep.
This is a better trained version. I mean, it's Counterblast 1, retire 3. You still get the 10k. You still get the critical. But you've 1 less Counterblast. And you actually get to retire 2 of your opponent's rearguards. So it's better already.
Yeah.
The Break Ride version, because remember they had to keep this guy having a Break Ride, is at Limit Break 4, so when they ride over the top, you Soul Blast 3. They get the 10k power or whatever. And choose 3 of your rearguards, retire them. When this attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. Draw 2 cards, choose 3 from your damage zone, turn them face up. Until end of battle, your opponent cannot call Grade 1 or Graders to the hand. Gross. So there's no relation whatsoever. And the other ability is... choose one of your rearguards, retire it. When placed on Vanguard, pay the cost, search your deck to up to 1 blaster in its card name, reveal it, and put it in your hand. That ability is kind of gross, but in a good way. I mean, Soul Blast 3, you retire 3 rearguards, you draw 2 cards, you countercharge 3, and your opponent can't normal call Grade 1s or greater to the guard circle, so that kills your perfect guards until the draw ones later. So that's out the left field. V Series, on the other hand, is Counterblast 1, retire 3 rearguards, your opponent chooses 3 of his rearguards, retires them, and you get 15k power and critical plus 1. Whoa, so this one's 100 times better. And the other second ability is, if your opponent has 4 or less cards in his or her damage zone and no rearguards, Soul Blast 1, Grade 3, and deal 1 damage to your opponent's Vanguard. Ew! 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 That is so overpowered. See everybody, this is the thing. We're all complaining about our over triggers, but look at this.
Yeah.
You lose For the cost of 1 and 3 of my own guys, you lose 3 of your guys. I get 15k and a critical. And if you've got no rear guards and 4 or less damage, I can then make you take 1 damage for free. Over triggers that do over prize are too dangerous in the deck. This guy is literally worse than an over trigger.
Yep.
What is this? What is this trash? Trash. Absolute trash. So anyway, D-Series Phantom Blaster Dragon.
Yep.
It feels balanced again. They feel like they've balanced that ability.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, let's move along. Let's move along. Ryan, it's me again. Good grief. Oh, it looks like it's my day today. We get our first non-encounter card of this week, the Glutonic Monster Melnorm. Melnorm, he is a grade 1, 8k, double rare, and his ability is once per turn, discard a set order from your hand and countercharge 1. Delicious.
I like it.
Delicious. That's great. That's great because it gets rid of, this would be great for the prison one, right? And it's good for Orphist, but I'll explain why maybe not so much for Orphist. This is a good one because, look, honestly, how many prisons do you need on the field? 1, right? So there's that. And I suppose at the end of the day, I guess if you could put a second one to soul charge an extra 3. Did we ever get a ruling on if you have 2 prisons, do you have to double pay the cost? I don't know.
No,
I don't know if we ever got a ruling on that. Should look that up. But the point is, once you've got this prison, if you draw into another prison, it's now just a dead card. So at least you can bomb this out. However, for Orphist, they've already got Bumble Mine, who is a soul charge and a counter charge. But for them, for Orphist, you want multiple orders on the field. So this guy will become more useful late game. But it's still really good. Still really, really good. I like that. So there you go. A pretty decent way of getting a counter charge. Good one for the Brandt Gate. Me again. Okay, I told you. Ryan, I hope you got your feet up, mate.
I really do. I think I've only got a couple, so I'm just going to sit back, relax, and make you do everything.
Mate, looking at the tabs, I'm pretty sure it's majority is me. All right, so we have grade 3, Keta Sanctuary. I don't like dragons, but I really dig this artwork. So we'll cross that bridge as we get there. Heavenly Flight Dragon, Prideful Dragon. I don't like the double up names where they do that, where it's Heavenly Flight Dragon, Prideful Dragon. Just call it Heavenly Flight, Prideful Dragon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't do the double up on the dragon. Anyway, grade 3, 13k. His ability is, when this unit attacks, as rearguard only, if you have 4 or more grade 3 rearguards, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, draw a card. If you persona road this turn, you may have this unit get plus 5k power and critical plus 1 until end of turn instead of drawing. Awesome.
No.
So, it's great. That's really, really good. So, you can draw a card for the cost of a counterblast and a soul blast. Well, very little of that going on in your deck anyway. And if you persona road, you can actually get him to get 5k and a critical instead of drawing that card. I think this is a very nice choice. Very, very nice choice. Do you need to run this guy? Maybe not.
No.
But
an extra critical. Extra critical. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Look, in terms of its costing, like I said, it's not the worst cost. Because you'd be doing this. You probably to be honest, you probably won't be doing this just to get that card. You'd probably be doing this to add a bit of danger to your final attack. You know what I mean? You'd push for this. Yeah, you'd push for this at the very end.
Yeah.
And it's until the end of turn, so you can attack with this. And if you check a grade 3, you can stand it, and he still keeps that 5k and the critical. Plus, he gets an extra 10. So
don't like it.
It makes his second attack. It makes his second attack even more dangerous. So, worth keeping in mind. So I really like this guy. I probably will try and slot him in, to be honest. All right, me again. You've got the Dragon Knight Nahalem for the D series. Grade 2. Dragon Empire, obviously, he's a rare under the encounter cards. His ability is when rode upon by a unit with Overlord in its card name, call this to rearguard. So he pulls himself out. And once per turn on rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Overlord in its card name, Cost is Soul Blast 1, and this unit and all of your Vanguards get plus 5k power. Decent beat stick.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's designed so you can use it in all the other ones. So like in the other games where it's, in premium and all of that. Sorry, that's where I'm going. Yeah. All the other ones. That way, you use Overlord, you can play with others. I realise why they have the clan there. I just clued in. It's so if you're playing this guy in a really old deck where they used to have Lord and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you'd lose 2k power if you don't have a card that's part of Kagero.
Yep.
That's why they've put this here to specify that this is a Kagero unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly why they've done that. But it's good. It works with any Overlord, so you can go back and throw it into some other decks. But solid power, solid beat stick.
Yep.
It doesn't do anything disgusting. Solid beat stick. Thoughts, Rye?
Yeah. It's going to be fun. And it's pretty good for a ride chain. Would you probably only have one in your deck? Probably. I wouldn't think of using more than one, I don't think.
Yeah, because you're guaranteed to call this dude out.
Yeah, so I don't see the point of having more in your hand. Soul Blast 1, get 5k for you and your Vanguard. Not bad.
Yeah, I think you're bang on there, Rye. So I agree. You'd probably only run one, and especially if it's costing you a Soul Blast. I mean, how much soul are you going to get in one of those decks? Unless you're playing Eugene, then hopefully a lot.
Yep.
Ryan, here we go. Your very first one. So I'm at what? I'm at 4. I know. I'm at 4. You're at 1. Take us away.
Okay, so this is a grade 1 for the Dark States. It is called Freeze Breeze.
Great name.
Mm-hmm. So 8k grade 1, as I said, and it's got a rearguard ability. When the attack this unit boosted hits, if your Vanguard is Master of Gravity, Baron Magnus, Soul Charge 1. If your Soul has 10 or more cards, cost Counterblast 1, and draw 2 cards. I like a draw engine.
Yep.
Pretty good. It's just a Baron Magnus deck, so I won't be using it.
That's right. Look, you get a Soul Charge, that's great. If you have 10 or more, you can Counterblast 1 to draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
I don't mind it.
I think it's like a good card to add in just so you can get cards. 2 cards is great. Cost isn't disgusting because you're not really counterblasting in those decks anyway. And it's easy to get 10 or more. I think my understanding is you'll hit 10 soul fairly quickly. This card shouldn't stall too much. But how many you'd run? Probably no more than 2.
Yeah.
But it'd be good. It's a good supporting card.
Yeah.
I quite like it. I think the Baron Magnus cards probably needed some good support like this, and this is good enough. Good enough.
I agree. Alright, well, I'm going to put my feet back up. Enjoy.
Yeah, I know. I know. Alrighty, well, I am going to handle the Blaster Dark encounter card. Grade 2 for the Keter Sanctuary. He is a 10k. He has also featured in the original V-Series Royal Paladin V-Series. Wait, there was a Royal Paladin version of Blaster Dark? Good lord, see what we miss? Do you see what we miss? No, he was a Shadow Paladin. I don't understand.
Oh, no, this card is also Royal Paladin at the bottom. Just so then they can have it with the Lords.
With Majesty Lord Blaster, exactly.
Yep.
Fair enough. Okay, so his abilities here. When placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, choose. Good lord, I tell you, I'm not keeping up. Cost is Counterblast 1, retire another Rearguard, choose one of your opponent's Rearguards, retire it, and this unit gets +1 drive until end of turn.
Nice.
So this becomes a Rearguard with a drive check.
Not bad.
That's pretty gross. And if you get your Overtrigger at the same time, he becomes a twin drive.
Ooh,
look at that.
Yes.
And his other ability is on Rearguard during your turn. If your Rearguard was retired this turn, it gets +5k power. It obviously works with Phantom Blaster. It works with itself. Yeah. It's a good card. I mean, that's very similar to what the V-Series one was. I know that the V-Series was, off the top of my head, it did the same thing. You would get +1 drive check, but I think it also had the ability to retire a unit. Hang on, let me look. Yes, when placed, counterblast 1, your opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards, retires it. Yes, and if your opponent has no rearguards, discard a card from your hand. This unit gets +1 drive. That was only on Vanguard, so it was okay. Yeah. But this one is pretty gross, actually.
Yeah.
This one's actually really gross when you think about it, and I say gross as in like, playing with it would be great. But so its ability is you retire one of your opponent's rearguards and you get drive check. You get extra drive check on Vanguard or rearguard. So that's pretty cool though. He gets a drive check. Obviously, he'd only get his drive check if you check the Keter Sanctuary overtrigger, because rearguards don't have drive checks by themselves. But if you get it, he gets twin drive on rearguard. So do you'd almost always do this. Counterblast 1, retire a rearguard. You can retire one of your opponent's rearguards. He gets 5k power, and if you check your overtrigger, then happy days. Yeah. You get what do you call it? A drive check. That's all right,
which is always nice.
But also on Vanguard, you definitely do it on your Vanguard. Do it on the twin Vanguard, drive, twin drive early game, absolutely all day long. All right, me again for the 6th time, if I'm not mistaken. Is Volcanic Gun Dragon. Now, there's already people have shown it. The artwork is very similar to Blaukluger. Look it up if you want to look at something funny. It's like almost identical. It's funny. He is a grade 3 for the Volcanic Gun Dragon. You're an idiot, Nathan. He's a grade 3 for Dragon Empire. Wow, I'm really struggling today.
Mate.
He's only a common. I know. He's only a common. His ability is on rearguard. When this unit attacks, if your opponent has no front row rearguards, it gets plus 5k power until end of that battle. Yeah, okay.
Meh.
Like, the design artwork is great, but power-wise, meh. Move on. Not talking anything about him. Alright, let's have a look at the Embodiment of Armor Bar. This is the encounter card for the ride chain for Dragon Empire / Kagero. Grade 1, 8k. When rode upon by a Dragon Knight in Harlem, counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1 card, reveal it, put it into hand, and shuffle your deck. And then the second ability is rearguard. When your Vanguard's attack hits, this unit gets plus 5k power until end of turn.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like you might run 4 of them, maybe. I mean, he allows you to search deck for a grade 1 card. Is there any grade 1s that you know of that you would be fanging for?
No.
No. Maybe that one that allows you to search for what do you call it? Your search for the guy who's on Vanguard. He's Dragon Empire. Maybe him. You can go and search for him and put him in your hand. You could always then, I guess, get another Embodiment of Armor. You could rip one of those out, and therefore you have 2. That way they, both become extra 5k, maybe.
Find any on-placed cards when on-placed. That would be always useful.
Yeah, you could do that too. Obviously, it probably works really well with premium. But I don't know. Don't really see what else you'd hunt for, but that's okay. Me again. Lizard Runner Undu. This is like, I just remember Kai. Lizard Runner Undu. Anyway, starting Vanguard, grade 0, 6k. Do you remember the Forerunner ability?
I do.
Well, guess what? When this unit is rode upon, if you went second, draw a card.
It doesn't have it.
So, no, they do not want you to have Forerunner, okay? We do not want it. You can't have Forerunner ability. So stop it. There you go. Nothing else to talk about him.
Yep.
All right.
It's me.
It's you.
It's me.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Please,
right.
Ryan. Don't waste your time in the sun, mate.
So it is Persistent Icicle Yavana.
Yep.
It is a grade 3 for the Dark States. It's 13k. It's got Persona Ride. Its ability is Auto on the rearguard circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if your soul has 10 or more cards, cost Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and until end of that battle, when your opponent would call cards from their hand to guard circle, They must call 2 or more at the same time.
What a waste.
Yeah. It's a waste. It's for a Baron Magnus deck. It's just,
Yep.
Yeah, it's just, I can't think of anything good about it.
I've never seen the use for these abilities where it's called 2 or more at the same time. Okay, great. Now that grade 3s can be called,
Yeah.
you can always just throw a grade 3 down if you had to. Plus, with the size of hands nowadays, I guess it could slowly chew through a hand, but resource heavy, you've got to have 10 in soul, which is easy to do, I guess, for this, but it limits it to only Baron Magnus. Nah, no good. Not interested, Ryan.
Not interested at all.
But what about Exploding Melting Heart? The Blitz Order, grade 2 for Brandgate. Well, let me tell you, Ryan, you have to Soul Blast 1 to play it, and you choose one of your opponent's attacking units. It gets neg 5k until end of turn for each of your opponent's cards imprisoned in prison. And it does not retire even if its power is negative. Well, we know that.
Well, that's good. I enjoy that.
That's a pretty fun, decent card.
I'm a bit surprised
Like-
it's common, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And look, the reality is if you take all your cards out of the prison beforehand, okay, I don't have any way of... This becomes a dead card, right? So if you were to take all of them out, okay, then nothing I can do. But if you don't... I mean, look at the game that you and I played. I think you had like 6 of my cards in prison.
I had a healthy amount of cards.
Yeah, you had heaps. And it was getting to the point where I'm like, I couldn't bring them out. I didn't have the stuff, so I had to keep calling cards from my hand. So you could effectively save yourself 30k right there. You neg me by 30k. So it's like a 30k shield for free. So it's pretty good. I think this is almost a card that you could try to make work. Almost. I don't like Blitz orders. I'll say this. This is a Blitz order I like, but I don't particularly care for the Blitz orders.
No.
All right. The Knight of Heavenly Collapse, Capaldo. So it's a grade 2 for the Keter Sanctuary. When this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, counterblast 1, rest another rearguard, reveal the top card of your deck, put it into your hand if it's an order card or a grade 3, and call it to rearguard if it isn't. If it didn't counterblast,
Yeah.
it would almost be worth running. Almost. The problem, at least in terms of a Bastion deck. Obviously, if you're talking a Hexa Orb deck, you can make room for this. But the Counterblast one, yes, we're not really chewing through much, but you've got all those other cards who are starting to use Counterblast now. They're really introducing that. So the resting isn't such a problem because you can rest a grade 3 at the back row who can't attack or can't boost that particular turn. If it's an order or a grade 3, you can put it in your hand. If it's not, you call it to a rearguard. So, that's pretty good to refill your field.
Yeah.
But I just don't love it. Especially because you want those grade 3s. You want those grade 3s to stay in... you want those grade 3s to stay in the deck so you can drive check them.
Yeah.
And I've just had a thought. You know who this will work with?
Yeah.
Peanut Butter Dragon.
Peanut Butter Dragon?
Peanut Butter Dragon. Because he has to retire units.
Ah,
Look at that.
Yes.
And so you would rest a unit,
Yeah.
and then you would call this guy, rest a unit, get a top call, a superior call anyway. That's 3 units now you can retire. Because you're going to retire that rested rearguard. What's the point? He can't do anything this turn. There you go. Great for Peanut Butter Dragon. In fact, you probably would put that in Peanut Butter Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, would you bother though? Because it's still... Look, you've got a Counterblast. Look, it's a common, Ryan. I don't know.
Don't know. You can test it out. It'll be definitely a test. Test it out.
Someone else test it. And let us know. While we're on the topic, though, of Peanut Butter Dragon, we have Blaster Javelin, who is a grade 1, 8k, part of the ride line for the Keter Sanctuary's Peanut Butter Dragons. Is also a Shadow Paladin. His ability is... When this unit is rode upon by Blaster Dark, reveal the top card of your deck, call it to rearguard as rest if it is a unit card, and discard it if it isn't. And rearguard ability, continuous during your turn. If you have a Vanguard with Blaster in its card name, it gets plus 2k power. I feel like you might run more than one of these guys, but probably not. I mean, that 2k power is okay, and you're going to have the blasters, but his ability, when rode upon by Blaster Dark, you get to top call. Blaster Dark has to retire a unit to get his ability off, so this is a free way of getting a unit, and it's in rest. So you might as well burn it.
Why not?
You might as well burn it. So there you go. I think that really complements the whole ride lines complement each other, and obviously, you would do whatever you would do. So, but ultimately though, I don't think you'd run more than one. Frankly, I mean, the 2k power is okay, but there's probably going to be some better stuff after it.
Yeah, true.
Final one for me, Ryan. There we go. It's full bow. It's the grade 0 starting Vanguard 6k. Rode upon goes, then you went second, draw a card. Moving on.
Oh, it seems like you want to go. You want to stop talking for a little bit.
Yeah.
So here we have is for the Stokeia. It is a grade 2 order, normal order. It is called Fruitful Season. And
now, I just want to preface this. I think we spoke about this one in those reveals that we had on the phone.
Yes.
But I don't remember, so please take it away.
Yes. So just to make sure, we'll say it again. If we didn't, we'll say it first time. Its ability, until end of turn, all your back row rearguards get power 5k. You cannot move rearguards to other rearguard circles, and they cannot boost.
I feel like we did.
I think we have.
Yeah, but at least you've got to see the card now, and I love its artwork. I think it's really cute artwork.
It is very cute artwork.
And, it reminds me of Terriermon from the Digimon movie. Just I don't know, something about it just kind of reminds me of it. But this card's pretty good. I think you would definitely want to consider running it in the Magnolia deck. 5k power, because they need that power.
They do.
They need that power. And in fact, if you watch our latest video with the Infect triggers, I was running Stoikeia in that one, the Magnolia specifically, and you will see how this would have come in handy for some of my turns.
Only a some.
Only some, I know, but a couple of them where it would have been used, where it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, ultimately. So Ryan, that's all the cards we have for this week. There you go. We powered through those sort of. That took us about 40 minutes.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
How does that take us so long to get there?
I don't know. It's just...
Do you know what I mean? It feels like we talk for no period of time at all. Then I look and it's an hour and 10 minutes in. How is it that we couldn't get from point A to point B quickly? We had to faff about somehow. We had the idea...
Yep.
And then rather than just stick to it and develop it super quickly, we spread it out with unnecessary garbage all the way through until we get to the part where people go, whoa, okay, now it makes sense. But it's not like WandaVision where people are going, and then it makes sense 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
It's almost like we waited until maybe the 10th episode to start finally progressing the plot. Do you know what I'm saying?
I feel like we are now no longer talking about cards.
We aren't, because we're talking about the anime of Cardfight Vanguard Overdress, and we're going to judge it on this week's Judge Shuffle. Judge Shuffle. Judge Shuffle. Judge Shuffle. Judging an anime. Judge Shuffle. Was it good or bad today? Let's find out. There, we've done it. All 5 of our segues were bangers, were big winners. They were good. They got the job done. We didn't dick around and have to drag it out and lead you down the garden path until we came up with them. No, we delivered on time every time. Unlike Cardfight Vanguard anime.
Yes. Yep.
Now, this episode, you and I were pretty much almost bang on with the plot.
Yep. It was pretty obvious, shall we say?
Yes, we were slightly off with the Danji stuff, but we're also in the right direction because we still can have this go the right way. Because Danji may not have lost a fight, but I'm feeling next week's episode, Danji could be a Suki boy.
Well, I reckon it might. We'll put a pin in it, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are for later.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, Ryan, this is episode 10 of Cardfight Vanguard Overdress, and it is called Fluttering Banner. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about it? Shall we just talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
Alrighty. Okay, so the episode begins with Yu Yu's mum. No offense, Mrs. Kondu, I don't remember your name. Yu Yu's mum has got it going on. Because she gets his attention. She's like, "Oi, Yus, snap out of whatever it is you're doing. Mm-hmm. Papa is coming home.
And
your daddy."
Yeah, daddy's coming home.
And I'm not talking Danji.
No.
I'm not talking Danji. I'm talking about your actual father. He's coming home. Now, Yu didn't seem to give a rat's ass, did he? At the start.
What was his line? It was...
is it that time already or something?
Already, and you're just like...
That time of year already.
Okay.
Now, what does his dad do?
Maybe he's like a seasonal employment. Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense. That he's like overseas, like maybe he works in like those berry pickers. You know what I mean? Like he goes out and picks berries for like 3 months of the year, and then like maybe he works in the mines. He might work in the mines.
Maybe
he could work in Antarctica.
He could.
All we know is he has to take a train to come home. We do know that he has to get on the train.
Yes.
So it's very probable there's no airport in Kaga. But anyway, he makes his comment about it being that time of the year already, and Mrs. Kondo is like, "Whoa, you're cold. What's happened to you? You got your heart has turned to ice. You're an ice boy. You chilly ice boy." So he got dragged across the coals, which thawed him out a little bit. Because Dad's coming home and you don't seem to care. Well, listen, here's Sonny Jim. You can't go out and play cards on Saturday. You can't do it. No going out playing cards with your friends on Saturday. And he goes, "Too easy, B." And he's like, "I'm going out now anyway." And he just walks past her. And she's like, "What happened to my timid little boy who cross-dresses? Where did that boy go? Where did that go?"
Yeah.
So, we cut now to Megumi, who finds what I thought was a young girl is actually a boy.
Yep.
It's a young boy. So he finds a young boy who's been obviously had the absolute shit kicked out of him. Like he's
been through the
beat
wars.
Down.
He's
been through the wars, and we find out that some people have come across, and he was trying to protect the banner. And he says trying to protect the banner. Like I was like, "Are you trying to protect Blackout's banner?"
Yeah.
We find out later he's not. But I was like, who is this kid exactly? Intro. So, Yu has now made his way up to Wonder Hill to discover that something is horribly wrong. Tamari is ordering the troops around to keep watch. Because a team hunter is around. So, a team hunter, they don't really explain what that is, but you can immediately assume what a team hunter is. Someone who goes around hunting down other teams and taking their banners and destroying them. We then find out that the beaten up boy's name is Shinobu, and he's from the team Blue Monday. I must say, I love the name, and that was the moment I went, we need a team name, right?
Yeah.
We need Blue Monday is such a great name, and it's really funny because Ryan and I used to go by the team little calling of Pink Saturday.
We did.
There's a story behind that about a trivia game where he knew the colour pink and I knew the date was Saturday, so we called ourselves Pink Saturday. And I thought that was a really great name. So we've had our first team name stolen from us.
Yes.
We can't be Pink Saturday because it sounds like Blue Monday.
Yeah, very
right?
true.
And like too much like that. So there's our first team name out the way. So we'll keep going, and I'll tell you about our second one that got stolen. All right, so honestly, I love that name. But what we find out is that an unknown team has shown up and made them fight. Basically said, if you lose, you give up your banner and whatever. So we know that the teams like sort of fought. We don't know who fought who. We just know that it was the leader who couldn't stop them. And so they lost. and they had their banner burnt. No, they were going to have their banner burnt. Now, I like that they carefully chose the word banner and not flag, because flag burning is
very
illegal.
Very serious.
Yep. It's a very serious crime. Whereas I guess a banner burning isn't as much. So that was a very interesting choice of wording. So we find out that Shinobu is a little coward boy, a little scaredy child who didn't stand up and fight for his team, instead took the banner and ran like a sissy. Right? No good. No good. If you're going to go down, you go down with the ship. I don't care if you're just if you're the janitor on the ship, you stand up and fight for what's right. So Ryan, if anyone ever tries to take Pink Saturday's banner, sorry, we're not Pink Saturday.
We're not Pink Saturday.
Damn.
Whoever takes just ours. Yeah.
Our banner. Right, Podfight Vancast, that's not a team name. That's our podcast. So we need a team name. The Van Gangsters, that's our fandom. We need a team name. We'll get there. So, Zakusa flicks around his bit of paper and shows off the team emblem, right? And so Shinobu confirms that was the team emblem on their sleeves. Again, made me go, oh, we need a team emblem. And it's great. Like, it's awesome artwork. Yeah. It's very Nirvana-like. I mean, it's like a phoenix swan chicken thing going on. It's over a shield.
It's got
a spear going one way, a sword cutting through it the other way, shield, chicken, dragon. Now, Danji looks shocked, right? Danji's like, oh my God. And so it's like, you know who this is? And he goes, oh no, just how really good artist you are. So I don't recognise it. I was just blown away at how good you are at art. You know, that's the sort of stuff that takes me out of how good an episode this is. Yeah. But I will let this transgression slide, because it only gets better.
No, because I kind of like that, because it came back to the original where he's like, oh no, I'm not going to rip these comics. I haven't read them yet. I haven't read these magazines.
You know what?
It's his humour.
You know what? Maybe I am too jaded. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm too jaded.
Maybe.
Look, it was a bit jarring. Yeah. It was a bit jarring for me, but you're right. It actually, you know what? I'm going to retract that purely because you're right. Danji's shown himself to be a crappy leader anyway, so he'll make up for it. But that was funny. Yeah. You're right. That was funny. All right. So Zakusa points out that there is going to be a team meeting soon. Right? It's coming up on the weekend. Tamari's pretty disappointed that he's heard it through his punk connections, but you need to know about it. You're part of this conglomerate, and so this whole bit reminds me so much of the Warriors, right? So, like, the main team, I just so the Warriors, if everyone knows, not breaking news, the Drive check-in, I do a skit from the Warriors. That was one of our games that nobody won because nobody could be bothered Googling. Good for you. Or even tweeting what the answer was. Scared the shit out of me. I wasn't looking at that part of the screen. I only noticed because Ryan started waving. I didn't even see you behind me. Oh my god. Everyone, Caitlin just scared the shit out of me.
I didn't mean to.
Oh my god, I was reading and I didn't see you there in the camera, and then Ryan starts waving and I'm like, what? And I see you and my heart, like all the colour drained from my face. Oh, you cheeky.
I like doing that.
Oh, I hate it.
I like when you play your phasmophobia.
Oh god, don't. Oh, I need to calm down after that. Oh, where were we? All right. Oh, Jesus. All right, Ryan, stop laughing. Okay.
I don't think
So,
so.
anyway, I imagine this scene to be the Warriors. I pre-played it out of my head that. So you had the main team was hosting it. You know, some dude who's like well recognized to be the main leader of the biggest Vanguard gang out there. And then Toya would show up. He'd shoot the guy. He would blame Team Blackout, and then they all have to race back to cargo while the other teams are chasing them down. Then you get the whole, you know, this is dedicated to Team Blackout. You know, like that over the radio, and it's nowhere to run to, baby, nowhere to hide. And then, you know, the Toya would get bottles on his fingers and he's clinking them together. It's clink, 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 like this. It'll be like this. Blackout, come out to play. You know, you do all that sort of stuff.
You would be the only one that would have got that. I'm just saying.
I know. That's all I was picturing. So I missed a lot rest of this episode because I'm sitting there going, ha, 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 ha. All right. So anyway, back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Baron Magnus is around. we're looking at the. Oh, come on, that's funny.
That's good.
We're looking at the. We're looking at the carousel, and everyone's looking at it, and so on and so forth, and they're like, "Oh, we still don't have any power." So has a month gone by?
I don't
Have
know.
Have we skipped a month?
Yeah.
Because so we knew the power was on for that month. So I gather Danji hasn't paid for it.
I reckon all the electricity went to the overnight statue. So, because that's still there.
That I know, and I've got that there. So shush, don't spoil it because we know that Danji likes it. We get to see the Blue Monday banner as well. It seems cute. It said Blue Monday. It was all in blue and white, and that was fun. Nice looking banner. Now, this is again why I think Shinobu was a loser, right?
Yep.
Because then he starts questioning their leader. He's like, "Oh, the Blue Monday leader wasn't strong enough. Couldn't handle it." And I'm like, "You bastard, turning on your leader like that. You don't deserve Blue Monday.
No.
You do not deserve Blue Monday and their really nice team. You know what? Pink Saturday might have to step in and take that name. I'm just saying." So, anyway, they're all yakking about it and everything, and Shinobu says that he sees Megumi and Yu as his big sister and big brother, and it like tugs on Megumi's heartstrings because Megumi's obviously got that same relationship with Danji.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it looks like where it's going. And I rolled my eyes a little bit because it's sort of too contrived, but
Yep.
you know, we can explain that in a minute. And so Shinobu then says how they should hide their banner just in case they come back, because like he had to take their banner to hide it so it wouldn't get burnt. So it's a good idea if they hide their banner. And right there and then, I went, "Oh yeah, of course."
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I think I had a twinge earlier on. Like, at the very start, I thought maybe this was all a ruse, but then I just forgot. But the moment that Shinobu asked, "Where is your banner?" I'm like, yeah, he's a bad guy. He's working with Toya.
Well, that and his name. Shinobu. Ninja.
Isn't that a shinobi?
Shinobi. It's pretty much like a shinobi, a ninja, yeah. So, like, and he's just like, "Oh, where's the banner kept? Where is it? Tell me where the banner's kept." And Megumi tells him, "Why?" Ugh.
Where did you hide it? We hid it at the fish pond. And it's like, okay. So like I said, I felt like he was the bad guy at the start, and then I just tuned that out.
Yeah.
Like, I just forgot. And then that happens, and then you go,
Yep.
yes, he's obviously the bad guy. And I don't know, I guess it's like, I don't know, I reckon that I would have that instinct in the real world. I'd be like, okay, you're a bad guy. Like, I don't know, it just felt off.
Yeah.
But turns out we were correct in that assumption. Now, Yu, it cuts away it doesn't cut away. So during that time, though, Yu sees Danji walking off, like,
Yep.
and so he's on the phone, and he gets off the phone as Yu shows up, and he's like, "Hey, what do you want?" And he tells Danji that his dad's coming home, and Danji's like, "Cool, like, what do you want me to say, Dad?
Yeah.
Good for you." He's really doesn't really particularly care. It's like I've got much bigger things on my mind than some little kid's dad coming home from the mines.
Yep.
But he does do a classic Danji moment because he says he has to leave for a few days. It's that classic, "What are you doing? Where are you going? I won't tell anybody." So he's got to go away for a few days, but swears that he'll be back in time for the summit. So he's going to be there for the team meeting. Mm-hmm. He's the leader of Blackout. He'll be there. And immediately you're like, no, you won't. Like, we know he won't be there. So, whatever. But anyway, that's Danji. We know that he skirts all responsibilities as a leader. So, you know, they could do with better ones. So, he calls all the troops together in front of the overnight statue, right? So he gets up in front of the overnight statue, which he loves, and says, "I have to go away for a few days. I'll be back." So Tamari is rightfully pissed off and says, "What, are you going to go out fishing and trying to earn more money, are you? Like, why now? Why now?"
Yeah.
Right? It's way too late. But Zakasa says that it doesn't matter what he does, right? You catch fish or you can go in a hot air balloon. He sort of trails off, like he doesn't really explain that sentence. Yeah. He just says it doesn't matter what you do, you could catch fish or get in a hot air balloon. And what he basically is saying, though, is it doesn't matter what you do, we will support you.
Yeah.
We're behind you 100%. It doesn't matter what you choose to do, we're there for you. So everyone agrees and basically says, yes, we're going to fight off these hunters Unlike Shinobi, who is a little pussy dog who ran away and hid his flag, we're going to go and fight. Little do they know that Shinobi's part of the whole thing. So, anyway, we fast forward to Saturday. Right, so it's Saturday morning, and Yu Yu's dad, Mr. Kondo, is at the train station. And so Mum comes in, she needs to make herself pretty, and she's asking the daughter, hey, how do I look? Do I look good enough for your dad? Is your dad gonna leap on me upon seeing it? And she's like, Mum, yucky. And it's like, yeah, well, this show's all about that. So, you know. So then a text comes to Yu Yu's phone, and we find out that Danji is still not back, and no one knows where he is. And it looks like Yu Yu texts back with, I'm not sure, and does like the water drop like emoji. Now, obviously he's saying, he's like sad, right? He's crying. Yeah. It's like a sad emoji. But the water droplets don't mean sad. Do you know what they mean?
Let's just move on.
Okay, because, like, it's not what it means. It's like you use, like, obviously whoever the guys who are doing this script are, like old mums who have just discovered Minion memes and think that LOL means lots of love. So, if you don't know what the water drop means, look up water emoji on Urban Dictionary. It'll tell you exactly what Yu Yu thinks of Danji, and he probably sent an eggplant at the same time. Moving on. So we cut across to Danji in an abandoned building, right? And he's looking at the tag of Daybreak. So it says Daybreak on the wall. I assume that's his old team name. And so he splinters off to make Blackout. So another Warriors parallel, because like you see the Warriors, as revealed in the video game, Cleon, you find out, was part of the Destroyers, and then he leaves the Destroyers to form his own gang, the Warriors. So it's like crazy. Like, this is what this looks like. Daybreak, I assume they called the team Blackout because it's like the exact opposite of Daybreak. See what I mean? Like Daybreak, Blackout. It's like Daybreak is sunny, Blackout is dark. I feel like that's the opposite, and we know that there's a lot of parallels happening in this show. So he's standing there staring at Daybreak, and then a lady rocks up. Some lady walks up to him, and she's all like...
all business.
Yeah, and she goes, oh, it's still there. That's it. So I assume she's probably part of the team. Like, probably was part of the team.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. So we know it's Saturday. Clearly Danji's not there because... the team summit is starting, and Megumi, Tamari, and Zakusa go in his place. So they show up at the place. It's like a bar downstairs. It's like that classic. So they go downstairs. They rap on the door, and he's like, "Hey, I'm not letting. Who are you guys? Right? Where's your leader?" And she's like, "You've got me." Tamari's like, "You've got me. That's good enough." Zakusa gets them in on his rep alone. Basically,
pretty much,
They're like, "Fine, we'll
You're
let you
known,
through."
but you've got him as well. You'll be fine.
Yeah, fine, we'll let you through. Then we get inside, it's a bar, and there are banners all over the wall, and we see there's a bunch of the teams. One of the teams that we can make out from the very start is the Red Wolves. Not a creative name, but a very standard name you'd expect to see.
True.
But, you know how... So, Ryan, this rips off one of our other ideas. So you and I call ourselves the Wolf Boys, occasionally. Again, there's a all of our names at least have some sort of reference to something in our lives. So now we can't call ourselves a team name involving wolves, apart from being very cliche and being done a lot. The Red Wolves are already a team, so scrap the wolves out. We can't use wolves. Moving on.
Can't use wolves. Can't use Saturday. Let's go.
Can't use Pink Saturday. We can't use the Wolf Boys or some variant on it. So let's move on. So it's clear that the other teams, or at least one of them, I think from the Red Wolves, don't like that Danji's not there. Right? It's like, hey, you guys are the rejects. Where's Danji? Zakusa does his fire eyes, like his eyes burst into flames, and so they all settle down. They're like, well, apologies. Whatever. And now we actually find out more of the teams. We have Team Scorpio, Team Pisces, both named after star signs. Now, Pisces stole my other idea for a team. Team Business. Because we get down to business and we all wear suits. Remember how I proposed that we wear suits? Well, Team Pisces wear suits. So that's ripped off. We've got a gimmick that we can't use now. Right? Good stuff. We also find out about the other two teams, which is Ashura, so it's sort of like Azura Kaiser, I guess.
Yep.
And Team Couleur, which is obviously a French way, I guess French for spelling colour, which appears to be an all-girl team. So if we're jumping back into the Warriors, we know that Warriors have the Lizzies. That was an all-women's gang.
Do we? Okay.
Yes, it was. They were an all-women's gang, and so we have Team Couleur. Really cool. You see everyone's sleeves lined up. That was really cool. I really, really dug all of that. So we cut now to Yu eating dinner with his dad. We don't see his dad's face.
No.
Why?
Not once. I don't know. This is what's confusing me. Why don't we see his face?
Exactly. Now, who do we know that has blue hair?
Blue hair? Oh, Archie.
Archie.
No.
What's his last name, right?
Sendu.
Yes, so it's a different last name. So
I was just like, where are you going with this?
it is a different last name, but why aren't we seeing his face? We haven't had any other character yet that we're 10 episodes in, and that they don't do well in telling a story.
Yeah.
We don't have any other characters yet who could be the father, and that for some reason we've had the face obscured. So no face. It could be Archie.
I have a theory. All right, we'll see.
Give me the theory.
We'll see a picture next episode, right? A picture,
And the face will be blocked out.
Yes, it will be a shine off, and it will be a picture of Team Daybreak.
That's what I was about to say.
And we'll have
He's part of he's part of Daybreak,
and that's why Aichi. Not Aichi. God, you got me. That's why Danji likes Yu because he remembers his old friend,
probably
Mr.
mentor or
Yu.
something. Mr. Kondo. Yeah, but the thing is, though, he would remember the last name Kondo, though, wouldn't he?
No, he changed his name to his wife's name.
Right. Hey, if that's the case, then it still could be Aichi, doesn't it? It still could be Aichi Sendo.
Could be.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I reckon. Blue hair, we don't see his face. Granted, it's an anime face. They all look the same. Anyway, relatively speaking. Now, we find out, though, that they tell Daddy Aichi that Yu Has made friends with someone, and says that he's pretty good looking.
Yeah.
So they felt the need that that's a relevant point.
Yeah.
And rather than just like leave it at that, they ask Aichi if that's correct. It's like, not Aichi, Yu. They're like, hey, Yu, hey, am I right? Yeah. And Yu gets all jealous and all blushing and and Dad's like, oh really? Ooh. My son's growing up to fall in love with 18-plus-year-old men. Very interesting. So that was an odd one that Papa was all about that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Now we cut back again to the bar. They're all having this chat about the summit, and they're bringing up the team. No one knows what this particular team is, but they mention that they're like, how did you come across this information? They said, some kid got beaten up and he was at our place with his banner and he was representing Blue Monday. And they're like, what? They're like, what? What do you mean Blue Monday? Blue Monday was wiped out 2 weeks ago, guys. And their banner was stolen. No one could recover their banner. And they're like, oh, shit. Now, the first thing I take from this is that Blackout is obviously a famous enough team, but they, for some reason, don't keep their ear to the ground. They don't know what's going on. Yeah. How would that not be knowledge? Like, how would a team hunter being out as of 2 weeks ago not have reached Blackout yet?
It's further down south. And also, they don't have...
But they're part of
their emails in Facebook. No one contacts them.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, there's that sort of bizarreness, but that's when it hits them that Shinobu is from the Chicken Swan team. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh crap, what have we done? We've let it infiltrate it into our mist. Mm-hmm. So they decide that they're going to hoof it back, and they do. And they get there to find out that Blackout has been destroyed. Sleeves are everywhere. All the lads are dead. Mm-hmm. And Shinobu is a bastard. He's up there and he starts crying, oh no, Megumi. And Megumi's like, oh, thank God. I thought you were the bad guy. He's like, nah, I is. I tricked you. Haha, lol, I tricked you quite quickly. And then he introduces Masanori to the fold. we didn't see that one coming. I mean,
No.
everybody else, they didn't. We did. That was obvious. We knew that Toya was part of it. But this is where it starts to. This is where this episode's pretty good. Like, it's setting up. This is doing backstory. This is doing like a setup well. This
Yes.
episode is about setting up really well. Yeah, we've got little bits and pieces that are sort of irrelevant, but they're building for a future storyline. And they're doing that thing of running two stories concurrently, but one isn't as important as the other one. And the Yu story is necessary.
Yes.
Right? This isn't an unnecessary story at the moment. So he shows up, and this is where it's now starting to get good. And oh shit, they burn the blue Monday banner. Boom, lights it, and it goes up. Happy to do it. So they're all like, oh, and then Masanori starts showboating and grandstanding about this switch. What's this switch going to do when I press it? And we're just going to go and press it, and we're going to burn your banner because they've got the blackout banner. And so Toya, though, shows up and he chastises Masanori and says, no, not how we do it. We beat them for it. They win, whatever. If they don't win, they concede the flag to us and we'll do what we want. So Megumi steps up and says that I want to fight. Right, so did Zaxa, but she gets in the way and says, I want him. And so they go, okay, great, let's do this. 2-on-2, but separate battles, not a tag team battle. It'd be way too early to try and cram that in. And now we get a fight. Now the fight is... This is good. This is what I want to see. This is a card fight. We get actual elements of the card game happening. A lot of talking.
Yep.
The Zaxa versus Masanori fight. That's intense.
It really
That
is.
is
Yeah.
really intense. Like, that's really dark. Whereas the other side of it, of Toya's so just like straight-faced. He chastises Megumi for showing too much emotion. So you can see it's been beaten out of him. He he's turned around again and gone, rather than winning to quit, he's now moved past that and gone full circle. He's right back to where he was, but on a different layer. He's now seeing emotion as a weakness, and that's what held him back. He's misunderstood the whole story. He's misunderstood his redemption, that his emotion wasn't a weakness. No, it is a weakness. He now needs that, his grandmother's death as the anchor, right? So that's cool for Toya. That's really cool. Yeah. And we basically find out that Masanori is just straight evil. He says that I'm evil. He says I'm evil. Yeah. Yeah. I'm here to kill. I'm here to kill you. And kill them he does. As Bastion and Zorga show up at the same time, put Zorga puts his hand on Zaxa's head, and the sword's behind her. The sword of Damocles hangs above her head, over Megumi's head, and basically they just kill them, and they rip their throats out and stuff. Not quite. I assume it's like, I'm assuming it's like when Orphist executed Masanori the week before. I assume you didn't see anything, and obviously he didn't really die. So they lose. So the banner belongs to the Royal Boys, to the old Swan Chickens. So they've got the banner. Cut again to Yu Yu's home. So they're washing the dishes, and Yu Yu's dad says to Yu Yu that I was like you when I was your age, right? All I could think about was hanging with my friends. My friends were more important than my family. So if you want to go, you should go. Yeah. Right? He's doing exactly what Toya's grandma did. The whole, if you want to go out and do that instead of your chores or what you're expected of this by your family, go and do that. Well, we learnt what happened to Toya. That was a bad thing. And am I wrong in saying this, right? That's a trap. That's Yu's dad setting a trap for him.
That is a trap. That's a parent.
Is that not a trap?
The parents know it.
Because
parents are like, I've got this. I will remember this later on.
Yeah.
And
if my mum said to me, Nath, don't do the dishes. I know you want to hang out with your friends. Go on. Go hang out with them. Go on. Why don't you just drop what you're doing? Go hang out with your friends. I would say, no, it's okay. Because it's basically that direct translation is, family is far more important. Do not you dare walk out this door. If you walk out this door, you will regret this for a long time, kid.
I will remember this. Mine a steel trap.
Oh my god. And so Yu falls for it. Yu leaves, and you hear his dad's like, oh, he's going to pay when he gets home. And he's like, honey, give me my belt. And she's like, okay. And she undoes his belt, and he starts whipping it into his hands when he gets home. So that kid, he's an idiot. Yu is an absolute idiot. And he's going to pay for it when he gets to Wonder Hill eventually. So we cut back to Wonder Hill. Danji is being blamed for the loss. So he should. Like, where is he?
Where is he?
Like, why isn't he there?
Yeah.
Like, why isn't he here? It's like, if Danji was here, this wouldn't have happened, right? And who's this lady? Who's this lady? Like, who's this lady with him? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening? Why is this all so important? But it's time for the switch, and Masanori, he, like, presses the button, and we see Yu running to Wonder Hill. He's like, I'm going to be there soon. And then we cut. So I'm assuming Wonder Hill's going to explode, right? Like, was that a bomb?
I bet you it's just going to be like the Buddha. Something happens to the Buddha.
Oh my god, of course, because the overnight statue,
Yeah.
he put it there.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. So, end of the episode there. We find out episode 11 is called the Fire Dragon Ceremony. Fire Dragon, I assume we're going to have Yu versus someone.
Yep.
Maybe. Will Yu lose? I feel like if Yu wins, this is a sort of like 50-50 booking.
Yeah.
So I feel like Yu has to lose that fight. Because then, what's the point? But Ryan, thoughts and feelings about this episode?
Thoughts and feelings. All positive.
Yeah, I want to know.
All positive. I am happy. We have a plot. We have some decent fights. We have some interesting setup. This is not backstory. This is a setup now. We're actually setting up for a final showdown. I am happy. What are your thoughts?
I loved this episode too. In fact, I think this is probably eking its way to being one of the better episodes they've had. Episode 6, as we know, Toya's backstory was awesome. Toya's backstory is relatively needed to have told this story. That said,
True.
It's not that... I've got my thoughts, and I don't know whether we want to... how we would have booked the entire series. I say booked like I'm a wrestling promoter. How I would have booked an angle. I've got my own thoughts how I would have told this story already, seeing what they've done, and I feel there was a very... there's a more obvious way of doing it, and I think. And like, in short, you could still have this play off at episode 10, and you would have... Episode 1 is where Toya loses... Toya goes away. We then find out that people, like, yeah, you have a couple of filler episodes, whatever. Then we find out that Team Hunters have been going around destroying people's banners. So then you start building a story over here that there's this group going around. And you have this start episode 4. Then you keep it going. You keep it running. You can have this element of danger in the background. You have the Masanori thing where Masanori, does his whole bit about Toya's coming back. Toya can do all of this, and then that Toya arc about why he is the way he is can get told afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you've told the Toya story to turn him evil.
Yeah.
Why not have the Toya story told to turn him good?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's sort of just, it's a little backwards, but you could have dropped all this filler, and you could have built a story around the card hunters, and you don't have to tell us it's Toya.
No.
Right? You don't have to tell us it's Toya. We know it's Toya.
Yeah.
It was obvious it was Toya. But you could have had it going for a long time where, like, people have been losing and have the teams brought into it earlier than episode 10. Because the thing that got me is that I think Megumi says, wait, other people have teams?
Yeah.
It's like, why did you... What do you mean?
Yeah.
Why did you... Like, if this Team Blackett is so well regarded... And people are trying to take your banner. We found out at the very first episode that people try to take the banners, and that's sort of what Toya was doing. That's what Toya was doing.
And that other guy as well, who versed Danji. I'll finally get there.
Exactly. He wanted the banner.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just you've already implied that the banners are something. Then we've dropped that for 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And then got, oh, by the way, here's our banners back. And it's almost like they went, oh, shit, we forgot to tell this part of the story. So I liked this episode. It's not like one of those ones where, and because you don't need all that setup. I don't need to have known the backstory of, I don't need to know that backstory of Megumi. Tamari's backstory, even Zux's backstory it seemed unnecessary because they had to do it. They had to shoehorn it in, so that's how they knew about the team meeting for the teams.
Yeah.
But you take the Punk network away, and it's Team Blackout.
Yeah.
Team Blackout is a known enough team that they found out in the weekly newsletter.
Yeah.
The revenge fight. Well, the revenge fight, you could say, was a fight between Zuxa and Masanori that happened off camera. Happened ages ago. Right? You can just say, I haven't forgotten the way. And then he's like, whatever. And then we can have that story told later as well. We can have a story of when Zuxa was a punk who versed a Masanori as a younger guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have that. And that's why he teamed up with Toya. And Toya and him want to take down Blackout because Toya's angry at Danji and Masanori has never forgotten the way that somebody else's evil deck beat his.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Bits and pieces, easy storytelling. I don't need all this backstory. I don't need Friendship Day about the sunglasses. I don't need the wrestling story. Like, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But anyway.
End of the day, Ryan, how many overtriggers are you giving this one? Remember, you can only give one.
All right. I will not give halves anymore. I will give it a full overtrigger. I was happy with it. As an episode, I was happy and glad it was. One overtrigger. Yourself?
I agree wholeheartedly. That is one overtrigger out of one for me. This episode certainly, if they had this the whole way through, this would be great. This was exactly what I needed to see to restore my faith in the anime. Very curious to see what the next 2 episodes are going to bring.
Yeah.
I feel like we're pretty much on the right track, but awesome at the end of the day. I think they did a great job with this one. Visually speaking, it's always a pleasure. That's one thing you can't take away from this anime, how good the visuals are. Other than that, Ryan, I loved it.
Yeah.
Great episode. I'd probably say it's the second best episode next to the Toya arc, but even then it could be better than the Toya episode because this actually had the Toya episode had fights in it too. Yeah, it's the second best, but good episode.
Yeah, agreed. It's just decent and good.
Decent and good. It was great. So, Ryan, I think it was so good that it ended the game for me here. I got my 6 damage and I'm okay with that.
Yep.
So let's move on to our farewells, our fare thee byes,
Yes.
good thee wells. To everybody who's listening, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in for this one. Like I said, it's a bit of a long one. It's almost 2 hours when we're recording, but we have a lot of stuff to edit out of that.
Yep.
Ryan, how did you think this week's of Vanguard news and all of that went for us? Did you like it?
I liked it.
Are you still in love with Cardfight Vanguard?
I'm still in love with Cardfight Vanguard. Cardfight Vanguard. I can't speak. That's because
you love it so much it makes you tongue-tied.
Yes. End of the day. End of the showing. But yeah. Hey, happy. Not much news, but we still got some cool new cards.
Good cards.
Finally got a very good episode of the anime. And we got some videos done for us as well. So people are going to have to look on the YouTube.
Yeah, guys, make sure to jump on the YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Podfight Vancast. You can just look that straight up. It'll take you straight there. Watch our old video of the unboxing. Watch our D20 video. Then watch our Infect Trigger video. And don't forget to stick around for the Switch Trigger, whatever that means. That's exciting. Frankly, my favourite one. One. So, guys, also check us out at Twitter on Podfight Vancast. Send us an email at podfight@gmail.com. Discord, the link is on our Twitter, because I don't think it's public yet. I think it needs to have a certain amount of people before it's public. Okay, so it's not super public. You can't search for it. But look us up on our Twitter. You can join there. Chat with other like-minded card fight people, you know. Like 2 people have had a conversation. It was with us. So that's exciting. Do that. Join in. Make it a big thing. If you haven't joined it yet and you don't want to, that's okay too. Just watch our videos. Like, share them, comment on them.
Yep.
Do whatever you have to do to make the algorithm better so our stuff gets seen by other people. I think that's all from me, right? Is there anything else you want to comment on?
Nah, I'm happy. Let's go and bid farewell.
It's that time again, time to say goodbye to a friend. Oh, don't cry, for we will ride again. Dry your eyes. Well, we will ride again. No sighs. We'll be back next week, my friends.